what we also saw this week was Donald Trump basically being announced, or at least leaked, that he has plans to celebrate Memorial Day by pardoning war criminals. And I know you wrote a piece about this. Tell us about this. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
It's obscene on any number of levels. First of all, it's probably important to make clear where he's getting the names of these people
right.
and why he's doing it. This is coming from Fox News, a specific one person by the name of Pete Hegseth, who is a veteran, and he is on Fox and Friends on the weekend. And Trump had previously wanted to put him into the administration. He floated his name for Secretary of the VA when they had that big churn early in the administration. And he's a big favorite. He is a fanatic, and he is basically a person who believes that the rules of engagement of the military are too soft, and he wants them changed, basically to legalize war crimes, including torture. This is his mission. This is who he is, and Trump loves him. And we found out this week that he's been personally lobbying the president. He's gone up to the White House. He calls him on the phone to pardon these convicted war criminals and a couple of others who were about to go on trial for war crimes. Now, these are people in the military justice system. It's not some bleeding heart liberal judge somewhere, or it's not the Ninth Circuit or whatever his normal thing. This is the actual military justice system who has taken these people to task, and they are accused of horrific crimes. I mean, one of them is a psychopath, and interesting. A couple of months ago, it was revealed in the New York Times that he was a highly decorated Navy SEAL and a chief, it's chiefs who run the Navy SEAL units, and his own Navy SEALs, which is to break their kind of omerta that they have in these sort of elite military services is really beyond the pale. They did it. They went to their superiors and they had to fight hard to get this guy into the military justice system because he's a psychopath. He is killing people. He is torturing them, taking pictures of them. He held a mock trial for a dead corpse. I mean, he's a sick piece of work. Let's just put it that way. It has no business being in the military, and he is going to go on trial for these crimes that were, these Navy SEALs in his unit took a great risk in coming forward with this story, a risk to their own careers. And this is one of the people that Trump is planning to pardon, or at least that he's asked for the paperwork to pardon them. The others are almost just as bad. Some of them are accused of urinating on corpses, Taliban corpses, and another one, killed a suspected, Al-Qaeda member in Iraq on his own in a ditch. He stripped the man naked and then executed him and said he did it in self-defense. I mean, all of these things are just, they are clearly war crimes. And it's not as if we haven't had recent experience with this sort of thing. Abu Ghraib was not that long ago, and we had pictures of it. We saw it, and it greatly damaged the American military and the morale and everything else. And nobody in the military is for this. I shouldn't say nobody. There are people like Pete Hegseth on Fox News who are for this. And we know that Trump, throughout his campaign, basically ran partially on war crimes. He talked about bullets dipped in pig's blood. He talked about wanting to torture. He indicated that he might even think about beheading if that's what it took. He said, take out the families, all this stuff. This was a big part of his campaign. It's kind of hard to remember now because it's sort of fallen by the wayside. But Pete Hegseth knew who he was dealing with when he went to Donald Trump to do this. And Trump has apparently, at least is considering, pardoning all these war criminals on Memorial Day, the day that the nation celebrates the war dead going back to the revolution. And it's absolutely appalling. It's the most disgusting thing I can think of, and it's purely based on this idea of, Trump showing that, he's a tough guy, and, they're all saying, finally, we have a president who honors the war fighter. And that's what Hegseth said. And it's absolutely disgusting. I'm hoping that this came forward early enough that whoever it was that leaked it, got it out there, and Trump will be persuaded not to do it hopefully by the military, many of whom have come out and said this is outrageous. You can't do this. It would destroy what we know of the military discipline, and many members of the military take pride in the fact that they're not barbarians, and they really don't want to be tagged with this.
Yeah, it's shocking, and it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I remember also Donald Trump said, I know more than the generals, and it could very well be that attitude that that carries the day. I mean, you really do get the sense, and we got to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about what's been going on with the states with abortion, and there was a major, pro-choice rallies around the country, but also to the notion that Donald Trump, we could be marching to a war in Iran, we could have been marching to a war in Venezuela, sort of underneath Donald Trump's nose. Like, he seems to have so disconnected from things that if stuff like that can go on, the idea that he would celebrate war criminals without sort of really knowing that the vast majority of the military was like, don't do this. That's inconsistent with a professional military. I believe that it's not just this guy's getting his advice from Fox News. It's like he's only getting his advice from Fox News. But we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Digby.